Okay, so this recording is going to be for chapter 3 and chapter 4. Please remember, per the directions, you are to complete the reading. Each chapter should have 3 annotations coming from the text or the pictures, and then 1 annotation on the graph. So in chapter 3, your graph is here, all about sea levels. And in chapter 4, your graph is here, all about tornado count. So here we go. Chapter 3. Warming and sea level rise. One surprising effect of a warming global climate is rising sea levels. Sea level is the line where ocean water meets dry land. As sea level rises, more land becomes covered with water. Over the past 100 years, global sea levels have risen by 10 to 20 centimeters or 4 to 8 inches. Rising sea levels can cause major problems for low-lying islands, as well as for coastal cities like Miami and New York. If sea level rise too high, some places where people now live will end up underwater in the future. So this picture kind of shows, due to rising sea levels, places where humans live now may be underwater in the future. It says, how can warming cause sea levels to rise? The answer has to do with melting ice on land. Glaciers and ice sheets form when ocean water evaporates into the air, forms clouds, and falls on the land as snow. In cold areas, layers of snow build up year after year, compressing the layers below them and forming solid ice. When this ice melts, the water runs down from the land and into the ocean again. If glaciers and ice sheets melt faster than they are building up, more water ends up in the ocean. Adding water to the ocean causes sea levels to rise. In addition, water expands a little bit as it gets warmer. That means that warmer water takes up more space than colder water. As ocean water becomes warmer, it takes up more space and sea levels rise. It says you might expect that sea levels would rise the same amount everywhere, but they don't. Because of the shape of the land and other factors, sea levels are rising much faster in some places than in others. This graph traces the rise of sea level since 1993. And if we were to draw a line of best fit, we would see that there is an increase. This photo shows the glacier was big enough to cover the entire valley in 1910. By 2012, the photo on the right, the same glacier was much smaller. A lot of ice had melted. Okay, continuing on to chapter 4, please remember, you need 3 or more annotations, and one of those annotations must go with the graph about sea levels. Okay, chapter 4, warming and extreme weather. Even the most dire predictions of climate change predict a rise in global average temperature of only 6 degrees Celsius, or 10.8 degrees Fahrenheit. Dire means really, really bad. So even the worst predictions of climate change predict a rise in global temperatures of only 6 degrees Celsius. That doesn't sound like much at first. It may even sound like we can look forward to nicer weather. However, rising global average temperatures lead to all kinds of weather changes, and some are not so nice. In fact, evidence shows that global warming leads to extreme weather, more severe storms, droughts, flooding, and other disasters. This caption goes with this picture. It says a rise in global temperatures makes severe weather events like tornadoes more likely. This graph is showing the number of tornadoes in the United States for each year from 1950 through 2010. Again, we have fluctuations that are higher and lower, but if we were to draw a line of best fit, we would see that the annual tornado count is increasing. Continuing on. As the climate warms, ocean water warms too. Warm ocean water gives power to big storms such as hurricanes and typhoons. With warm water, these storms tend to become more severe. Warming temperatures also cause more water to evaporate, putting more moisture into the air. More moisture in the air leads to more precipitation, such as rain and snow. It may seem amazing that global warming can cause more snowstorms, but that's what happens. An increase in precipitation, so that's rain or snow, can lead to dangerous flooding. While warming causes more precipitation in some areas, it can also cause droughts, a lack of precipitation. The warming climate changes patterns of wind and water currents, making some areas drier than they were before. There's no way to look at one particular weather event and put all the blame for it on climate change. Weather is complicated, and lots of factors combine to make events happen. However, it is clear that a warming trend makes extreme weather more likely. Some people have compared extreme weather events to home run hits by a baseball player taking steroids. You can't say for sure whether the steroids made him hit any particular home run, but you can say that the steroids made home runs more likely. Global warming is like putting our weather system on steroids, making extreme events more common. So this caption shows the snow here. It says a rise in global temperatures increases precipitation of all kinds, including snow. This picture goes with this caption. It says, as global temperatures rise and the patterns of wind and water currents change, droughts may become more common. And this picture here goes with our last caption. It says, extreme weather can cause damage to people's homes, schools, and businesses. For chapter 3, you should have 4 annotations written on your piece of paper. One of those annotations must be with this graph. For chapter 4, you should also have 4 annotations written down. One of those annotations must go with this graph. For the entire packet, chapters 1 through 4, you should have a total of 16 annotations. It's 12 annotations from the text and the pictures, and then 4 annotations, one on each graph. When you are finished, you will keep your half sheet of paper, which is where you took your notes, and you will turn in your reading.